How was your August? In this video we're going to be talking about what I've been up to in August, what my plans are for September, all while I go through the process of drawing the Polaroid for the month of August. So, grab a snack, your art supplies, and let's jump into it. Hello, my name is Jade and I like to paint with pixels. I can't believe we're 2/3 into the year already, but hello, how are you? I hope you're well. Got yourself a bev? My bev of the day is a fruit tea with lemonade that I got from Bird & Blend. I discovered it in a tea workshop that I went to recently, and it's really good. I recommend it, especially in the last weeks of summer. So, what are we drawing today? This is part of an ongoing mini-series over the months of summer that I'm calling Summer Adventures, where the core group of my little characters do a fun little activity each month. So far, we have a little hike in the forest for June, a barbecue for Lily's birthday in July, and now we're going on a little night out camping for August. If you've never met my characters before, here's a little rundown. We have Fern, who's my little bear character, Lulu the bunny, Lily the frog, and Daisy the bee. I wanted something special to happen on their trip, so I thought seeing the Northern Lights would be a really cool focal point for this piece. I actually managed to see them in real life not too long ago, which was really cool. Of course, they were way less saturated in real life, but my phone got to capture some pretty cool photos, where it looks a lot clearer. I knew I wanted to try and draw them at some point after seeing them, so this became a big inspiration for this piece. I also recently saw this really cool exhibit for the Astronomy Photographer of the Year Awards in London, and there was an entire section dedicated to the Northern Lights. I'll leave a link for the website where you can see all the entries in the description, but these became a great reference for drawing them, and became a big portion of the images on my mood board. It's nice because this whole process has reminded me that having lived experiences are a really good source of inspiration for creative projects. The art we make is not made in this sort of isolated bubble. It's a collection of our memories, our influences, and experiences, so I definitely want to try and do more things to help me feel inspired in the future as well. I did a bit more prep than usual for this piece because I knew that trying to translate the Northern Lights into pixel art would be tricky to do. So I started drawing a study of them on my Twitch stream. This took quite a few attempts, but I think I got a sense of how I wanted to add dithering and some gradients to taper off the ends of the light from this. I didn't end up finishing the study, but felt like I got the hang of how I wanted to draw the Northern Lights effect, and a nice workflow to follow. I want to return to finishing this study sometime, as the process is quite calming to draw it. After the study, I started sketching out compositions for the final piece. I kept them very small and quick, but they helped a lot because they were quick to do, and I could try out quite a few ideas in a short amount of time. The biggest thing I struggled with was positioning the characters. I didn't want it to feel like they were too clustered up together, along with the camping equipment that I wanted to include. I want the Northern Lights that they're pointing at to be the main focus, but I still want them to be recognizable and for their silhouettes to not cover each other too much. I ended up going for a composition where all the characters are in the center but the lower third of the piece, whereas the lights take up the rest of it. This, along with the two tents framing the group, felt like a good mix of keeping what I wanted to be the focus highlighted, while still telling the story of the group going camping. It's funny because you don't really see the back of their heads much in past drawings, but I like to think that they have like either a little tail or a stinger in Daisy's case that sort of matches their character, which I don't think I've had to show in these Polaroids yet, but I think it's a cute little addition. As part of the sketch, I wanted to try and use rule of thirds to help compose a shot, by having the characters be at the crossing points of the grid at the bottom, and the lights to be aligned with one of the horizontal lines of the grid, and I think that balances the piece pretty well. I've been trying out a few new techniques this month. I learned about the rule of thirds and golden ratio compositions while I was setting up shots for my last video. In this video, I used 3D modeling to create a consistent space across multiple camera angles. I didn't use 3D modeling in this piece because it didn't feel that necessary, but I think it'll be quite useful for what I'm working on for my Twitch stream, as I want to have the different scenes be in the same space but from different camera angles. I'm hoping to make a longer video about the whole process in September. I actually found adding the details of the Northern Lights to be quite therapeutic. It sounds odd, but I love adding details in pixel art that are quite repetitive to do, as you sort of get into a good rhythm with it. I remember it being similar with the flowers that I drew earlier this year, which had a fairly similar workflow. I block out where I want all of the dithering to go, and then I would add in lighter colours to that dither that sort of created this gradient effect within it. So, what have I been up to for the rest of August? Drawing-wise, I've been mainly focusing on the stream update that I have planned and making stream assets for that. I also made a cute little animatic around making a cup of tea, which I actually really enjoyed the process, as I got to try out a few new techniques for adding light and shadow to a piece. I used a similar method for this drawing as well, where I add a layer with the multiply blend mode and filled everything in the foreground with this sort of dark blue colour. Then I can erase the bits that I want to be illuminated by the campfire that's in front of the characters. I really like this method as it's quite quick to do and creates a more striking light setup, with a very consistent shadow throughout. I've also been posting a lot more social media this month, trying to be a bit more consistent with it. I've had a few busy weekends, so it didn't make it easy to schedule and plan stuff for the week in advance, but because I hadn't posted in a while, I had a nice backlog of work to keep me going, so I didn't feel too stressed about it. This is sort of a new system that I'm trying out, to organize what I want to post and when. I'm going to test it out a bit more over the month of September to see if it's a good fit or if I need to adjust things. But it's definitely put into perspective how much time I have to work on stuff and what my actual capacity is, which, to no one's shock, is a lot less than what I had planned out project-wise, but we're learning. That's all good. So, what are the plans for September? I want to finish up the big stream update that I've been working on this month. I have a lot of the smaller elements done, and even though I won't have all of the parts that I initially set out to do for it, it'll be a good base to work off of, and I'll be able to build on top of it both on stream and outside of it. As part of that, I've been practicing making a lot of smaller sprites and badges, which I think will be a part of something a bit bigger that I'll release at the end of the month. I'm excited about it, but I'm also a little nervous as it's something that's completely new to me and will probably require a bit more research, which is also planned out for September, but I hope you look forward to it and hear more about it soon. With a couple extra details post-filming, this is the final result. I think this might be one of my favourite Polaroids so far. It feels like it still tells a story even though you can't see their expressions, which is something that I've been focusing on a lot in my past pieces. I need to have a think about what the autumn Polaroids could be. Should I do another small series where they connect between month to month? Let me know in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care out there. Goodbye!